everyone! Today we're gonna learn how to make one of the easiest bags for beginners, this small crossbody bag. It is small, but it still can hold everything I need when I go out. Its size you can see on the screen now. To crochet it, you need only one skein of 7/9mm t-shirt yarn, around 100 meters. We will also need a 7mm hook, a 4mm hook for sewing a flap, 2 ring carabiners, a flap with a lock, mine is leather, a strap, 5 stitch markers. I advise you to take 4 stitch markers of the same color and 1 of another color. I have only 3 red stitch markers, so I will take a pink one and count it as a red one. And 1 green stitch marker. Then a needle with a big eye and scissors. First we make 10 chain stitches. If you are a complete beginner, you can also check my very first video about basic crochet stitches, where I show and explain them very slowly and in detail. So hook the yarn, turn your hook around, hook the yarn and push it through the loop on the hook. We've made the first chain stitch. Now make 9 more chain stitches the same way. So now we have 10 chain stitches. Turn the chain, and here on the back side you can see such loops all over the chain. We will insert the hook into these loops to crochet the first row of the bag. So insert the hook into the first loop, and now we make like a regular single crochet stitch. Hook the yarn and take a loop, hook the yarn and push it through both loops on the hook. We have made the first single crochet stitch, then a single crochet into the next loop. A single crochet looks like V from here, and like V from the top too. Do the same with the rest of the loops on the chain. I've made 9 single crochet. And the last loop is left. Into the last loop we make 3 single crochet stitches. One. Then insert the hook into the same loop again and make the second single crochet. And the third one into the same loop. One, two, three into one loop. These 3 stitches are making a round part of the bag, so let's place stitch markers on the first and the third stitches to mark the beginning and the end of the round part. Now we will make single crochet stitches in front of these ones, inserting the hook into the same loops where these were made. Single crochet in front of single crochet. And from this side we also need to have 3 single crochet stitches into one loop. So we should add 2 more single crochet stitches into the same loop where we made the first single crochet of the row. One, and the second one into the same loop. So now we have here 3 single crochet stitches made into one loop too. This is the second round part of the bag, so let's place stitch markers on the first and the third stitches here too. And we have finished the first row of the bag. Since we are going to crochet this bag in spiral, we will not join rows, but just start crocheting the next ones right away. And we will mark first stitches of the rows, not to lose the beginning of a row. So now we start the second row. From the second row and in all next rows, we will insert the hook in the middle of single crochet stitches of previous rows. For example, this is a single crochet of the first row. It looks like V, like I said before. So we insert the hook in the middle of V between two strands of the yarn. And from the back side it should come from the middle of the single crochet too. And then we make the same steps as for single crochet stitches. As you can see, now we are in the round part of the bag. In the second row, in the round part, we will make increases into every stitch. An increase means that we make 2 stitches into 1 stitch of the previous row. This stitch marker shows the end of the round part. So now we are in the last stitch of the round part and we make an increase into it. 2 single crochet stitches into 1. Take off the stitch marker for now. Insert the hook in the middle of the single crochet like I showed you before and make a single crochet. So this is the first stitch of the second row. Let's place a green stitch marker on it to mark the beginning of the row. Then we insert the hook into the same stitch to make the second single crochet. As you remember, we made these stitches into the last stitch of the round part, so place the stitch marker back on the second single crochet. So we've made an increase and came to the end of the round part. So red stitches will be about round parts and the green one shows us the beginning of the row. Then we have the middle part of the bag, the one between 2 round parts. It contains 8 single crochet stitches. So we crochet 8 single crochet stitches into the next 8 stitches of the first row. we came to the other round part. Like I said before, in this row, in the round part, we make increases into every stitch, 2 stitches into one. So 2 single crochet into the first stitch, two single crochet into the next one, and 2 single crochet into the next one. We have made 3 increases, and now we have 6 stitches in the round part. Don't forget to replace the stitch markers when you make the first and the last stitches of the round parts. Then again 8 single crochet stitches into the next 8 stitches of the first row. And from this side we need to repeat the same. Increases into all 3 stitches made into one loop. We already have one increase that we made in the beginning of the row. It's these 2 stitches into one. So in the last 2 stitches we also make increases, 2 stitches into one. And now here we also have 6 stitches. We came to the green stitch marker, and that means we have finished the second row. Let's start the third one. Now we are in the round part again. Start it, just follow me, and when we come to the other round part, I will explain you what it should look like in this row. It will be clearer there. So into the next stitch we make an increase, 2 stitches into 1. Don't forget to replace the green stitch marker on the first stitch of the new third row. The second single crochet into the same stitch. Then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. We came to the end of the round part. After it, as always, we have the middle part that contains 8 single crochet stitches. And now we came to the other round part. So in this row, in the round part, we will make only 2 increases. 1 into the second stitch from this side, and 1 into the second stitch from this side. So first 1 single crochet, into the second one an increase, then 2 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and we came to the second stitch from this side. 1, 2, into which we also make an increase. And 1 single crochet. We have finished this round part that contains 8 stitches. Then again the middle part with 8 single crochet stitches. This round part must be the same as that one. I remind you we make 2 increases. One into the second stitch from this side and one into the second stitch from this side. So 1 single crochet, then into the second stitch we make an increase, then 2 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and at the end of this round part we have crocheted in the beginning of the row. The increase into the second stitch and 1 single crochet. So we have finished the third row. In the fourth and fifth rows we crochet the round parts the same way, making 2 increases, 1 into the second stitch from this side and 1 into the second stitch from this side. And everything else is the same too. Let's count the second stitch from this side of the round part. 1, 2. So into this one we are going to make an increase. So we start the fourth row with 1 single crochet. The next stitch, like we said before, is the one where we make an increase. And 1 single crochet. Then the middle part, 8 stitches. We came to the other round part. Again, 1 single crochet. And increase into the second stitch from this side. Four single crochet. And the next stitch is the second stitch from this side, so we make an increase into it. And one single crochet. We have finished the round part, which in this row contains 10 stitches. The middle part, in the round part, one single crochet, and increase into the second stitch from this side, then 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fourth one we've made in the beginning of the row. The same as the next increase and the last stitch of the round part. So these two round parts are completely identical. Crochet the fifth row by yourself following all the same rules. I'll just tell you that the round part in your fifth row must contain 12 stitches, so you can check if you've done everything right. Now let's get rid of this tip of the yarn. I will use a needle with a big eye for that, but you can also use your hook. I will push the needle with the tip under the stitches around this little hole to tighten it. And then cut the rest of the tip. From the next rows, we will not make any increases anymore. Therefore, we don't need these stitch markers that show us the round parts. We only need the one that shows the beginning of the rows. So from the next row, we will just make one single crochet into one, and we will crochet 12 rows this way. Don't forget to replace the stitch marker every time when you start a new row. The stitch marker must always be placed on the first stitch of your current row. So I've crocheted 12 rows without making any increases. This was the 5th row, the last row where we made increases. And from the next row, I crocheted just one single crochet into one stitch from the previous row. Due to the fact that we stopped making increases from the 6th row, it started to bend and we got the walls of the bag. The 12th row was the last one, so we don't need the stitch marker anymore. Now we take our flap and attach it to the back to see where exactly we're gonna sew it. Of course, it should be in the middle of the bag. As you can see, the first hole on my flap is now right in front of the last stitch I made. Therefore, I'm going to unravel this last single crochet, so I could start sewing the flap from this stitch. Now we take a smaller hook that you will be able to insert into the holes on the flap. In my case, it's a 4mm hook. Insert the hook into the first hole on the flap. Then into the next stitch on the back, the same way in the middle of the single crochet stitch. Hook the yarn and take a loop. And push this loop through this one. Repeat. Insert the hook into the next hole on the flap, then into the next single crochet on the back. Hook the yarn and take a loop. And push this loop through this one. But don't make these loops too small, otherwise your flap will start wrinkle. Continue to the end of the flap. After the last stitch, leave a short tip and cut the yarn. Pull out the tip. Now we will make the last stitch to join our sewing line to the back body. The same as we have it on this side. For that, I will use a needle with a big eye. We have here such V stitches. This is the first one and the second one. We need to slip the needle under the second V stitch like this. And then insert it into the last hole on the flap. So we bring the tip back into the same place where it comes from. I make this last stitch the same size as all other stitches. Hide the rest of the tip under the stitches inside the back using the needle. The last step is to add all the metal accessories. Ring carabiners, a strap, And I was lucky to have a lock on my flap already, but if you need to install it by yourself, then do it too. I only need to install the second part of the lock on my back body. I don't know what a lock are you using for your bag, but maybe this tutorial about installing locks to bags will be useful for you. That's it, our bag is ready. You can also crochet a flap for your bag too instead of the leather one, but it would take more yarn and time. In one of the future videos, I will show you how you can make it. For now, I hope everything was clear for you and you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, write them in comments under the video or in direct messages on Instagram. Please leave your thumbs up, share, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to get notifications about my new videos. Thank you for watching. See you!